All right, obviously, I'm really excited for our seniors. Last Saturday, last Saturday at Waldo, I thought they played well. I thought the team rallied around them. It was great to see the families on the field, and so it was a special day. Now we're on to Maction, so it'll be midweek games. It's all Tuesday games from here on out. So our schedule gets a little crazy, but we're looking forward to having the opportunity to take the field at least one more time at Waldo and having three more games. I know this. We have the indoor tailgate with Dickey's barbecue, buffet, games, all that stuff going on in Sealy, which will be fun a week from today. And then we get to play Ball State. They're a very talented team, high scoring offense. I think Coach New and their quarterback Plitt are on the same page, and Coach Lynch does a great job, their offensive coordinator, and we've had some crossover film with them and had a chance to watch them play a lot, and they're explosive on offense. And this is really the first time seeing their defense this week, and they're getting turnovers and playing hard and flying around. So it'll be a great challenge. We got a chance to be 6-0 at home, which is hard to do. Hasn't been done much, and our seniors, I think they're third in the history of our school in wins. So we got a chance to add a couple more of that, hopefully. But yeah, we're excited to get back to work and get ready for Ball State.
You touched on it on Saturday, just how truly wacky a season it's been. When that's going on, how does that craft your message to your team?
I think you're looking for consistency. You know what I mean? And that's hard. And you look in the NFL, it's really, really difficult to be consistent every single week, But the key is that you ride the highs, escape the lows, and try to find some normalcy in your execution. And I thought this was probably our most complete game as far as special teams, offense, defense. Didn't end up going 60 minutes. I think by the end of the third, the game was kind of decided. But I thought we were fairly consistent. Early on, we didn't score a ton of points. It was close all the way to midway through the second quarter, and then we got going a little bit. And but I thought we were solid everywhere. We were consistent, which in a year where there's so many ups and downs in the league, is what we're searching for, and what we're searching for in the next three games as well.
Think about the way this game ended last year and everything that went on. Have you circled this one, and is it nice to get another shot with them, with it actually really meaning something?
We at the time, we're getting ready for Ball State last year, and they outplayed us, by a point, and then we won the next game, and we would have gone to the MAC championship. So it's just another lesson of you got to play the game in front of you, and so yeah, it was. We remember that for sure, and but this is a totally different Ball State team, It's different for us, obviously, having John for a final three game, which is exciting, So both teams are different. Both teams have something to play for, and it's great that we have them at home. But it'll be a battle. They're playing at a high level right now.
Levante Bellamy now leads the nation in rushing touchdowns. Do you think a player of his caliber should be getting more national attention for what he's been doing?
I don't really look at how much attention he might be getting. A lot. I don't really know. He gets a lot of attention here in our building and in Kalamazoo, and I know the scouts are recognizing him because they come out all the time and they're asking about him. I'm getting a lot of phone calls on him, which is what he really wants, So yeah, he's doing a great job. He's leading our team. He understands what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish, and he came back this year. I'm sure people got in his ear about he had the opportunity to go other places, and he stayed, and this is why he stayed, is so he could have a year like this where people are talking about him. So, you still got to go out there and produce, and you got to get the opportunities and the touches, and, I got to make sure I give him the touches, and then he's doing a lot with them. So I'm excited for what this season is going to mean for his future, and but more importantly, I'm excited to see him continue to finish this thing.
Bellamy maybe doesn't look like a prototypical NFL running back, although might be shifting away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are you telling scouts as to what he brings a team just from a locker room and from an on-field standpoint?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with him is he has a great demeanor about his he'll work harder than anybody you have, which is very unique when you have a player that's arguably the best player on your team who's also the hardest working player on your team, which is something that means a lot for what he could do for an NFL team somewhere. His speed is speed. You know, every team who seems to have those guys that can flat out run, and he's 190 pounds. He's not small, and he runs hard. He did get banged up in his first 2 years here, but he's now made it through 2 years of playing, physical football. And but if you can get him space, if you can get the guy in space, and obviously the NFL is changing, so it's interesting depending on what team you talk to, because some teams are space teams, other teams are going to try to take space away and put 2 tight ends and a fullback in there. So but those space teams, I mean, if you want a guy that knows what to do with the ball in space, he's a guy. Now here he can run inside. I mean, at this level, he can do anything. At the next level, they love that speed. It's God given. And he's making the most of it.
What do you think have been some of the keys to all your success at Waldo this year? Because going 5-0, that's a pretty good start.
It's a good start. I definitely think that the schedule has worked out fairly well at home. As far as the I thought preseason wise and all the hype and everything, I thought our 6 road games were going to be the hardest games against the most experienced teams, and I thought our easiest 6 games were going to be at home. So that affects it a little bit, obviously. But we're comfortable there. We practice there every day. It's not like we have a practice facility. We're on that field all day, every day. Kids are comfortable there. Our crowd's behind us there. So you should play good at home, and we have. We've had games where we've blown teams out immediately. We've had to hang in there to the third quarter, to the fourth quarter. Last game, I think, was late second quarter, early third quarter. We've played a lot of different types of games at home, which is good. But I think we're obviously we love playing in front of our fans, and it makes a big difference.
How has Caleb Elby been coming along? What kind of work have you seen him put in to prepare for the future?
He's doing great. I mean, he has really come on in like last 6 weeks. He's really starting to get settled in and understanding what we're doing. He gets all the 2 reps, and he's ready. He's ready to go if we ever needed him. He has some experience, which is pretty neat, but I think he's really getting comfortable, and he's really been. We've done a good job of communicating with him on being involved on game day. You'll see him on the phone sometimes. Talking to our quarterback coach, Eric Evans, up in the booth. And so he's really dialed into what's going on, because you never know. Everyone's one play away. And he's been throwing it great. He understands what we're doing, and he'll be ready if we need him.
Griffin's been backing up John at quarterback with Caleb's red shirt very much in play this season. When do you anticipate him maybe getting some of those number 2 snaps?
It wouldn't be this week. I mean, if you look at we have 3 games left, a potential championship game, and then a bowl game. So if it got to a point this week where we're putting a guy in to execute our offense and just end the game, or whether you're up or down, doesn't really matter. It wouldn't be Caleb. If someone gets hurt, Caleb will go in. So really, this is the last game. After that, Caleb will be very much involved. I had a question. Someone asked me about that last game, because there's 4 regular season games, but you got to plan for, make sure Caleb gets that year if it's possible. And so yeah, he probably won't be. He's always live, but he probably won't be live at an end of the game situation. Not this week either. Probably starting next week.
The tackling numbers that Trey Hayward are putting up, they're insane. And sometimes that can be skewed by a lot of different reasons. What do you see on the film from him that has led to that?
I mean, really, I think it's his change of direction. That's probably the hardest part about linebackers is when you are running to your gap. Rarely does the ball go in his gap, but he just does an unbelievable job of changing direction and making tackles on either gap on either side of him. And then obviously, I think he gets a lot of tackles because he's the first one there. He has a tendency to be the first one there. Plays with such a high motor. Wasn't even really 100% this week, and still had an unbelievable game, but didn't really, just had a little strain and didn't re-injure it. Feels great, so he'll probably be 100% next game, which would be nice. No negative reports from the game, but but yeah, he's the game has slowed down to his speed. He's no longer an out of control, tough, physical linebacker. He's in control. He knows what he's doing. He knows why he's doing it. Still got some things he can get better at, but man, we talk about seeking the ball, and he gets there first a lot of the time.
Dylan Deathridge got the start at guard on Saturday. What went into that decision, and what did you see from him?
Asbury's done well. Dylan's done a great job. I mean, he's ready to play. It's really Asbury. Asbury's just banged up. I mean, he's had a strain on this shoulder, and then a strain on this shoulder, and then he has a harness on this shoulder. He's got an elbow. I mean, I call him RoboCop. He's got so many harnesses on. Nothing serious, but enough where he was in pain. And sat down with him and just said, hey, for the betterment of the team, we got to give Dylan a shot. Dylan had more knockdowns than anyone on our offensive line this week, so he did a great job. So we'll see where Asbury's at, where Dylan's at. Normally those things don't heal in 4 or 5 days, but he's put together, but he's just in pain, and he would do whatever. I mean, he was totally fine with the decision we made. He was ready just in case, and it was fun to see Dylan in there, and he did a great job out there.
From a player's angle, AJ, what's the craziness in the MAC been like to you guys?
It's one of the weirder years in the MAC, obviously, but we got Ball State at the top of the conference with one loss, but everybody's still in the race for the MAC championship. Just need a couple chips to fall their way, so we just got to focus on us and focus on going 1-0 each week.
You guys lost a tough game to Ball State last year. Has that been on your mind as you prepare for them this year?
Definitely. Definitely we're going to use that as fuel this week going into our preparation with Ball State. So, but again, we just got to focus on this game while not forgetting about it because we don't want that feeling again. So.
What was the feeling in the locker room? A nice defensive performance from you guys, a nice bounce back. Is that kind of what you guys were discussing throughout the week and hoping would happen?
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of like the story of our season. We'll not have such a great performance one week and then bounce back the next. We just got to focus on being consistent throughout the year and just getting better each week.
A guy like Levante Bellamy, a lot of what makes him special is his ability to outrun defensive backs. From your perspective, what do you see when you watch him run when you're going against him in practice and then at the games too?
He's very smart. He understands the blocking schemes. He understands where linebackers are supposed to fit. He just knows where the cutback lane is, which allows him to use his speed. One thing that stands out about him is his preparation during the week. He takes film and practice very seriously, and a lot of stuff he sees in practice, he's seen in the game. So it just comes down to just being prepared, and he's doing really well with that.
How good does it feel to have a few days off? Coach has talked about the 9 straight. It feels like just going through. You guys feel like you need this break right now?
Yeah, it feels good to have a couple of days off. We've been going 13 weeks straight, including the 4 weeks of camp. So just having a few days off is a relief. So it's just we're gonna get back at it tomorrow. Just get ready for Ball State.
Have you ever been part of a season where you went that hard for that long?
High school, not in college. No, we usually had a bye week. I think my first 2 years, so it's never been this long. So this is new for me, but we're handling it well. But we still got more in store.
AJ, when you with all the emphasis on targeting penalties now, you guys, obviously you've been playing football for a long time. What was, when you got to college, what was the thing that maybe some of the defensive back coaches tried to work with you guys on as far as picking a spot, where to aim to go against, whether it's a wide receiver or running back? Do you guys practice that? I mean, you don't have as many pad practices as you used to either, so obviously that's kind of tough too, but what kind of things do you have to adjust to as far as trying to keep your head up, leading through shoulder, all the things, and it happens in a split second too, so kind of talk about that.
Yeah, we focus on our aiming point. We'll use like a bag or whatever, and we'll try to hit the midsection of the bag. So it's very important nowadays because targeting gets called left and right. So yeah, we practice that a lot, and we emphasize it in like games. Make sure if the coaches see something like, make sure you get your aiming point down, make sure you get your target down, because obviously we don't want to miss any time. So yeah, it's a big emphasis nowadays and a big emphasis in practice.
So you notice you had to change a lot from high school to college when things that maybe were taught in high school you just got away with in high school when you got to Western. It's a totally different situation.
Yeah, because the rules were different back then. Back then, a big hit was a big hit. Now, if you hit them a little bit too hard, hit them in the head, you're disqualified. So we all want to be a part of the game. So we're going to focus on those points and just fix our aiming point.